Ladies and gentlemen, episode 1-4 of Emerald City Sports. Wait, is it 1
Hey,
4? Is it 1 4? Is it 13? Let me see here. I might actually be wrong. Man,
13. No,
Bosh,
no.
Bosh the intro so bad. Hold up, let me see here.
I think it's
All
13.
right.
I think it's 13 because it's been out
It's
for the past 2
13. It was
weeks.
13.
I'm
It was
taking off this
13.
jersey.
All right.
No.
Well, all right. Watch the intro. Let's do that again. Ladies and gentlemen, Emerald City Sports, episode 13. Ladies and gentlemen, fresh off the week 1 Seattle Seahawks victory. That is pretty much what we're going to talk about today. Excited. Josh is going a long rant about how he was right about Geno Smith. I'm expecting that. Going to be a great episode because we're just going to be talking about how we love to see Russell Wilson take a big fat L when he came back to Seattle. So Josh, let's get right into it. So the Seahawks, Monday Night Football against the Denver Broncos. Everyone thought the Broncos were going to win. There were like bets where like the Broncos would be up by winning by like 20 or something like that. People thought the Seahawks would win by 20. Well, heck no. The Seahawks pull off the big upset, 17-16 thanks to Nathaniel Hackett. But Geno Smith played on fire. Rashad Penny, not so bad. The defense clutched up so many times in the red zone. Josh, what do you think about this Broncos game?
64-yard field goal. That's all I have to say. We don't need to. I don't think you guys would want us to go through this entire game because Broncos had the brilliant play, the brilliant choice by former Jaguars offensive coach. Yeah. Who cares about the first game? I mean, to kick a 64-yard field goal while losing to the Seattle Seahawks, and you had Russell Wilson. Oh, that's all I have to say.
I mean, I don't know what Nathaniel Hackett was thinking there. You have a guy who you pay what $240 million for the next 6 years or something, and it's only 5 yards. It's only 5 yards. You get 5 yards right here, then Brandon McManus might even have a guarantee at making that field goal. But no, run that clock down. Let Brandon McManus kick the second longest field goal in NFL history, which he is 0 for 6 when it's over 60 yards. I mean, if you watch the Manning cast, this was all Peyton Manning was doing the entire time. Just timeout. They never did a timeout up until it was 20 seconds left. They still had two timeouts. To be able to get out 5 yards, get even 3. Wow. Okay. Because they could have gotten 5 yards, gotten even a little closer. Well, it'd be like 50-yard field goal, right? That's not that bad for Brandon McManus. He would have probably made that. But I mean, the Seahawks survived thanks to the thanks to a boneheaded mistake by Nathaniel Hackett. And I mean, there are people saying like a 13-year-old would have managed the game better. But Josh,
yeah,
we got to talk about Geno Smith here. Now, you at the beginning of this podcast was talking about how Geno Smith is going to be the starter. Geno Smith will be pretty good for the Seattle Seahawks. Well, he showed out this game. 195 yards, 2 touchdown passes, I believe 23 for 28. A very good day for Geno Smith on Monday night. Josh, rant away.
I've been saying it since when we started this podcast in May. I think that was probably the first thing I said or something. We would need to go back on that. But yeah, saying it since May, Geno Smith, I mean, there's a reason he's still here. If we never needed him, why is he still here? Why don't we just switch out for a better QB on the free agency market? I was a little bit overreacting over the preseason. I can say that. I can admit that. But Geno Smith showed we just didn't see Geno Smith with the starters enough time. We only gave him a drive or two, and now we see him with a full game. He's able to fix the mistakes that he made when Russell Wilson was injured, just like that Steelers game. He was able to score touchdowns. He wasn't exactly able to finish the game like Steelers we haven't exactly seen that yet. But it gives him more positive outlook and probably gives him more time. Because if he lost that really badly, even if it's against the Broncos, it could have opened up the door for Drew Lock much more quickly. But in the end, I was right all along, and yeah, that's it. That's
Yep,
my
I
rant.
mean, Josh, I'll admit you were right. You were right. I mean, that's not
You're
even
wearing orange
Josh
too.
was right the entire time. I'm wearing orange. Yeah, bad shirt choice. I was lazy, did not change the shirt to a Seahawks jersey. I didn't even wear. You saw me today. I did not even wear a Seahawks gear for Blue Friday. I'm a horrible person. I'm not. I need to just hide myself now. But how about that defense, Josh? Wow, like only held a Russell Wilson led Broncos offense with Jerry Judy, Cortland Sutton, all those weapons to only 16 points. There were 4 times they were in the red zone and only scored 3 points out of it, and 2 clutch fumbles that the Seahawks recovered right at that 1 yard line, which is funny because they ran it in shotgun formation. Flashback to February 1st of 2015. Seahawks, second and goal, 1 yard line, shotgun formation. Like, do the Broncos know that that's probably not going to work? Josh, what about that defense, man? What did you see from them?
I saw new rookies standing out, probably keeping them on the team for more, doing well. I mean, doing okay. I mean, I really like Tariq Woolen, especially for that game. But that defense was still able to hold even after Jamal got hurt. I think it was in the first. So they're able to adapt to even losing a very big piece such as Jamal Adams. And that will translate on to this week's game against the 49ers and the rest of the season.
Yeah, I mean, big shout out to Al Woods on the second drive from the 1 yard line. Al Woods absolutely stuffed the offensive lineman all the way back so that Javonte Williams ran into him, then eventually fumbled the ball. So big play by Al Woods. There's a reason he's a captain. There's a reason he's still on this team, even at 30-something years old. He is a rock for that defensive line. But as you talked about, Jamal Adams got hurt. Josh, what do you take from it? He's out for the season. What is your reaction?
Just like wait every year, like since that trade, we've just been waiting. I mean, that first year was okay. I mean, good, but after that, we haven't seen any other season where it showed that the deal was really worth it. Like Jamal was just mid, really, or just literally couldn't catch an interception last season, and now that he's just out, it makes us just like I feel like if it's just with all the wasted first round picks, I felt like it pressured the Seahawks organization to make a move. It might have caused even Russell Wilson to be traded. I don't know, but it hurts, and now it hurts even more that we can't even get just like lesser Jamal Adams on this team. Like he can't stay healthy.
Yeah, it really does suck. He's been injured for so many times. Last year he missed a lot of games too. So it's almost like trading Russell Wilson was to make up for all those first round picks that we dropped to the Jets. And it really stings because like Jamal Adams, when he was the Jets, he barely missed a game, was always a star for them. And here he comes to Seattle. He's not really doing much. He's getting injured a lot, and it really stinks. But I mean, we gotta prayers up for Jamal because I mean next year hopefully he comes back better than ever with a vengeance to like prove everybody wrong here because there's a lot of people saying Jamal Adams was honestly like they might even say he was a bust. Some people even saying that, which is really crazy. But give him time. Now with that week 1 euphoria win, we have to move on to the next game, which is in Santa Clara as we face our bitter rivals, the San Francisco 49ers. Game starts at 1:05 p.m. Apparently, the weather will be really bad this game. It's going to be pretty rainy, just like the Niners when they played in Chicago. So, Josh, what do you take out of this game? What are we going to have to do to be able to hold the 49ers down?
First of all, I didn't know the 49ers play in Chicago. You said they played in Chicago.
Yeah, they did last week. week
Wait,
one.
Wait, they did? Oh, that's what you meant. Okay, I was confused. I thought the Chicago. I thought you were like Chicago. Uh, well, I mean, usually, as I've heard, Trey Lance did not do well for the 49ers. As they've shifted over to him. To start against and they lost against the Bears, which I think I think people have said has been like in the same range as the Seahawks before the season. Uh it's just gonna be a lot more mysteries, but I think this is a game that the 49ers could use to like just keep every to like give more experience to Trey Lance and with really how bad I mean defense was locked down there in the Broncos, but they still gave up a lot of yards. Still we were able to stop them at the 1 yard line. But what happens if you have a really good tight end in George Kittle rather than
I
who
gotta
knows
stop you there, Josh.
what
I
his
do
name will
not
be?
know. I don't know if George Kittle will play, but even if he does play, he was injured last week. So, do you think that might be
Oh,
like a disadvantage for the 49ers with George Kittle not being 100% with the groin?
yeah, that's going to be really big impact. It will probably change the game plan for both teams on how they'll attack as well. Yeah.
And what does that D line need to do to put pressure on Trey Lance? Because we know Trey Lance last week, he did not do so great in the rain. He's playing in the rain again this week. What can the pass rush do to prevent him from making any big plays and forcing him to make some bad throws?
Yeah, they just need to go there just rush the QB as fast as they can, but also contain him as well. So just fast, tight, and force him to make bad decisions. That'll give us hopefully 2-0, and 49ers could drop the 2 games back.
Yeah, that would be really great because like the 49ers are already worried. We win this game, they're going to be worried even more, which honestly I would not I would love to see that. Um as for the Seahawks offense, this is going to be a muddy game, so we'll obviously have to rely on the run game. What do you want to see from Rashad Penny and the now returning Kenneth Walker III?
Oh, okay. Kenneth. Hopefully, he can shine when he'll probably get a lot of carries due to running. Rashad Penny, he just needs to make sure not to lose the ball because almost I think he lost it once
He did lose it once.
last week. And just be able to avoid the tackles. It's just simple basics. Like we just need to if the Seahawks can get the basics down, then they can really beat anyone.
Yeah, I mean that offensive line when we saw them against Denver was pretty damn good. Charles Cross, he gave up a couple of sacks, but he really held his own throughout the entire game. And Abe Lucas on the other side, the man from Wazoo, he gave up no sacks at all and was pretty much amazing except for that one penalty. Um, and I mean, everything else about the O-line was pretty dang good. Austin Blythe, covering fumbles, that fumble from Rashad Penny right there, he was right there to
Yeah.
cover it. So shows the O-line is really disciplined, got to keep up with that running back. I want to go back to the Broncos game really quick. There was something that we noticed about Geno Smith that was different from how Russell Wilson's been playing this entire time. What Geno Smith would do, well, what Russell did, and he still does it, is that when there was pressure, he would start running backwards, trying to make a play, trying to find a guy open. What Geno Smith does is different. He plays it like I don't want to slander Russ here because his way is pretty good, but what Geno does is almost like it's a fundamental way. What he does is he steps up in the pocket, which is what most QBs would do. Josh, you see any there's something about Geno Smith that's different. He seems more calm and composed. It feels like he does things different than Wilson. What Wilson's never done in Seattle, Geno Smith's finally doing. What did you think about that?
I guess, as I said, he's sticking to the fundamentals. I mean, going as Russell Wilson has done, going backward is very, very risky. If you're not able to escape, you lose. Gino is just able to get the basics down, which is really important. And he's just able to throw really well to our really good receivers. For that first half, really. That second half was okay, but not really any points, which is kind of surprising.
Yeah. And one last thing before we end this podcast right here. When Russell Wilson came to Seattle, a lot of people were thinking that, we cheer him, give him a standing ovation when he came out. But heck no, those 12s were ruthless to Russell Wilson. During warm-up, booed the hell out of him. When he came out of the tunnel, booed him. And when he came out for his very first drive, they booed him into oblivion. Like, I have never seen the 12s boo someone that loud ever since the 42-7 loss against the Rams in 2017. That was crazy. Josh, do you think Russell Wilson deserved those boos?
Yeah, he does. It was his decision to move there.
Hot take,
It wasn't
Josh.
like the Seahawks shipped him off. It was his decision. He could have stopped the Seahawks from trading him away. But he didn't. He decided to go to Denver. He might be regretting that now, actually. If you've seen the clip where he almost said "Go Hawks."
Yeah, I love that. That was so
think
funny.
he regrets.
Yeah, I hope he does regret it. Man, that was a great. I mean,
but the fans. Oh yeah, here.
Go ahead, Josh.
But the fans are just. Yeah, the fans are letting him know that what he did was a huge mistake.
Well, I mean, like, the national media is giving the 12s a lot of hate. They're like, wow, you boo a guy who led you to a Super Bowl. First off, he did not. Would you say he led the Seahawks to a Super Bowl? Like, I mean, we had the LOB, we had beast mode. Like, I get it. Russell was a big part of that team, yes. But he really lead it. Was he the leader of it? Like, I'm not saying that he doesn't deserve the love for bringing us a Super Bowl, because he did a lot and he kept us relevant for a long time. But like, did he really lead us to the Super Bowl, Josh? Do you think so?
I mean, what we can see as fans on the field, maybe not as much as you think, but maybe behind the scenes, maybe he had that mentality. We don't know. There's limited footage that we can get, but we really don't know. Maybe I think the media is just trying to do some, I forgot what it's called, but just, they're a little overreacting in that Russell Wilson, he kind of led the team, but maybe not, because without beast mode and LOB, I don't know if we would be at the Super Bowl.
I mean, yeah, you're right. With Russell Wilson alone, no Super Bowl, because that LOB was a rock of our defense. Beast mode led that run game. Once they were all gone, we were only early playoff exit after early playoff exit after early playoff exit. Never able to make it. We've never been to the NFC Championship ever since 2014, 2015 season. So it's really rough. But yeah, the national media, come on. Like, Russell's an opponent now. Of course, it's the mentality of the fans to boo the opponent, right? I get it. Russell did a lot for Seattle, but I mean, the fans, they just want to see him lose, because they will never forget the way he left Seattle, which, I mean, I don't blame him, to be honest with you. I do not blame the 12s at all. But another funny thing, when you talk about behind the scenes, I don't know if you saw this, Josh, but like, a lot of Seahawks legends were at that game. Sidney Rice, Richard Sherman, Cliff Averill, Marshawn Lynch was there. Doug Baldwin was there. KJ Wright raised the 12th flag. Isn't it weird seeing that ever since Russell left, the Seahawks players are all coming back and helping him out? Like, Richard Sherman's been at training camp helping out the DBs. Marshawn Lynch is talking with the running backs. And like, Doug Baldwin's getting involved. Michael Bennett was doing preseason games. And so was Michael Robinson, I believe. So it's really weird seeing like all these old guys from the LOB come back when Russell's gone. It's almost like Russell was a cancer in that locker room. What do you think about that, Josh?
if he was a cancer in the locker room, I think at least one person would have spoken up about it. Like right now, if he was traded, maybe someone would have spoken up about it. Or maybe at least I think something should have been leaked if that happened.
I believe
Like the
something.
slightest bit. Like why would he be here for 10 years? I think it happened.
I believe there was an article back in like 2018, something that had to do along the lines of like a locker room division, where it was because Russell got that extension. I don't remember. Russell got his mega extension first before all the LB guys, and the LB guys did take it pretty personally, thinking like, "Wow, they were the ones that led the team, and then the QB gets the extension." Which I mean, the QB, it's always like that for every team, right? The QB is the one that's going to be there the longest. He's going to be the one who leads the team the longest, and and he's going to be the one that gets the extension first. We've seen that with the Chiefs. We're probably going to see that with the Bills eventually. So I guess I could see why there was division in the locker room, especially, I mean, like after Super Bowl 49, this team just fell apart. Like a few guys would leave and then more and more. And then, now none of that Super Bowl team is still there anymore, which does suck. But like, it does really feel like Russell was hated by a lot of that locker room, especially the Legion of Boom, because they're all coming back just to see Russell Wilson lose. I don't know if you saw, but Doug Baldwin and Richard Sherman were both tweeting like I believe some like gifs where like they were making fun of Russ for losing to the Seahawks. Like Baldwin had like a face on his Twitter, and then Richard Sherman had like a laughing emoji. So I mean, like Josh, they might not like Russell anymore. I think Russell might have been one of the more hated guys in that locker room, which would be really crazy. We really need an article one day when like all of them retires and sees what happens. So I mean, Josh, pretty interesting, isn't it?
I think he kind of convinced me. I was gonna say that I think that it was just like some friendly thing, like let's just prepare the Seahawks like against Russell Wilson, some kind of friendly thing. I don't know, but I don't think it's so like would they spend their time coaching the Seahawks to beat Russell Wilson just because of the contract alone? Probably not. I think I now agree. I think something happened. I'm surprised after all this time no one has leaked it out. No, not any podcast or just something to a reporter or anything. Yeah, I'm surprised nothing happened or nothing was leaked that showed why like the LOB is literally giving their time to help the Seahawks beat Russell Wilson.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, Broncos country, they tried. They went left wide and they lost that game. And the Seahawks, 17-16 Seahawks win. We look forward to Seahawks 49ers this Sunday. And speaking of Broncos country, let's ride. Josh has a video, 10 hours of Broncos country, let's ride. Over 1,000 views already. Check that out on his channel at Emerald City Sports. On this line right here that you see. I will do it for episode 13, episode 14, hopefully sometime soon, because school is back. And Josh and I, well, Josh has to wake up at 5 a.m. and I have to wake up at 6 a.m. And it's just great for us. So don't expect that many episodes like every week, because we got schoolwork too, you guys. We got to do all this stuff.
Been on this show for 2 weeks until today. It's sad. I've been missing.
Yeah, but hey, Josh made his return. Josh was right the entire time. And now Josh gets to go to sleep at night thinking, wow, I was right the whole time. Geno Smith is a legend. And I think the 12s will probably agree with you, Josh. Episode 13, that is it. Go Hawks. Go Mariners. Hey, don't forget about the Mariners, folks. Go Mariners too. And go every Seattle.
The Sounders. 4 games left in the season. Right below the playoff line. Will they sneak back in? Find out on my channel. I'll talk about it.
Yes, sir. Don't forget to subscribe to Josh's channel. Subscribe to this channel. Give it 5 stars on Spotify at Emerald City Sports, the podcast. And we'll see you guys later. Peace. Geno's the MVP, by the way.